In the early 1930s, a young boy living in a small city in Sao Paulo had a dream to one day take to the skies. Aviation is still a very new field in his day. Planes are used only for war or to transport the mega rich across the world. Brazil, the boy's home country, is far too poor to produce flying machines of any kind. Yet, the boy believes Brazil can become one of the greatest manufacturers of aircrafts in the entire world. Through hard work, determination, a hint of luck, and the helping hand of a close friend, he turns his vision into a reality. Today, that young boy's company builds the most cherished and used private jet in America, the Phenom300. This is the inspiring, gripping, and at times heartbreaking story of Ozires Silva, the man who made Brazil fly. Ozires Silva was born in 1931 in Bauru, a small city located in Sao Paulo's suburbs. Brazil's economy, like many others, ran into deep difficulties during the 30s. Life was not easy for the young Ozires growing up. Poverty was rife in Brazil, which was widely considered a third world country and not up to the same economic standards as the likes of the US, France, or the UK. No matter how dire their situation may be, Brazilians never stop dreaming. There are fiercely ambitious people who never let adversity stand in their way on the path to glory. Ozires was no different. An unquenchable fire burned in his heart, a passion to see his ultimate dream one day realised. But while most of his classmates watched football stars like Leonidas win glory for Brazil in the World Cup and dreamed of one day doing the same, Ozires' passion took him elsewhere. He wanted to build and fly airplanes. Flight was still a relatively new invention at the time, and the manufacturing of aircraft was primarily carried out in America and the UK. Ozires wanted to change that. He wanted Brazil to become a global powerhouse, able to manufacture all the planes the world needed. His idol growing up was none other than the legendary Santos Dumont, a Brazilian national hero who flew his machines all over Paris. One day, he told himself, "I'll be as famous as Dumont." His teachers and classmates laughed at him. Brazil had neither the talent nor the money to even build one plane. What hope did the country have of becoming a world factory? Luckily, there was one kind soul who shared his vision. Ozires and his best friend Zico would spend hours every day on a park bench, which they called the office, coming up with brilliant new ideas to make their dream come true. Whenever Ozires felt like giving up, Zico was there to give him a much needed pep talk. This isn't to say the road ahead for the two boys was easy. Quite the opposite. When the two graduated in the 1940s, there were no schools in the country that provided aeronautical engineering degrees, and sailing abroad to study at a foreign university was incredibly expensive. The two boys decided that before they could learn to build planes, they'd need to learn to fly them. After graduation, they headed to the Brazilian Air Force to become air cadets. A few years later, they came out as fully qualified pilots for the Air Force Transportation Group and National Airmail. Life as a pilot was exciting. Ozires made daring deliveries to communities in the heart of the rainforest, gliding across the Amazon River in seaplanes. The young man was enjoying his time, but during this time, he received tragic news that would change his life forever. Zico, the friend that had stood by his side since they were boys, had died in a plane crash. Ozires was heartbroken and vowed never to rest until the dream they'd shared so many years ago became a reality. In 1950, news reached Ozires that Brigadier Casimiro had opened a new school in São José dos Campos called the Institute of Aeronautical Technology. One door closed, but another opened. It was the young man's big chance to finally earn the degree he'd been looking for his entire life. Ozires wasn't about to miss it. The ITA might have been newly established, but it was one of the most prestigious universities Brazil had to offer in terms of mathematics and scientific studies. Brigadier Casimiro wanted Brazil to mass-produce aircrafts, and knew he needed to develop the right talent to make that happen. Only the very best of the best even graduated from its ranks, let alone exceeded. Ozires was different. He had more than just academic prowess in his corner. He was fueled by his late friend's memory and worked tirelessly to keep the vow he'd made to Zico. By the end of his stay at the ITA, Ozires was top of his class, and even received a special gold medal from the school's rector during his graduation ceremony. Brigadier Casimiro saw his potential and sent him to the aircraft department of the Technical Center for Aeronautics in 1963. While working to develop new Brazilian aircrafts, Ozires came up with an idea. He noticed how most manufacturers focused solely on building big jets that could only land on large runways. Small cities on the outskirts, who could only build rough, little landing strips, were being neglected. Ozires suggested they start building reliable, smaller planes that could be used by both civilians and the military. Many loved the man's ideas, many others didn't. The new director of the department certainly didn't. He said there was no point in wasting money on pie-in-the-sky ideas that needed tons of research, and told his men to focus entirely on pre-approved aircrafts for the Brazilian Air Force. This was hardly an ambitious project. The Brazilian Air Force was not fussed with creating their own planes, but instead bought fighters and bombers from the United States and the British that they maintained, such as the F-5 Tiger II jets or Gloucester Meteors. Ozires wasn't ready to give up without a fight. A cunning idea came to him. When he walked into his new boss's office to deliver all the maintenance projects that required approval, he slipped the file for his new idea near the bottom. As the director went through more and more files, he became more and more tired. By the time he stumbled upon Ozires' plan, he could barely see straight. He stamped the file with his approval, not knowing what he'd read, and gave Ozires the go-ahead to build the plane of his dreams. The team got to work right away. They contacted a French engineer named Max Holster to lend his expertise to the project, and worked through the night for many months to get the design of the plane just right. In the end, they came up with a twin turboprop light transport plane called the Bandeirante. It successfully took off on October 22nd, 1968. Ozires was ecstatic to see his invention take to the sky, but his work was far from over. Building planes wasn't exactly a cheap endeavour, so the group needed investors to fund the project. When he went before them and pitched his plan, the answers ranged from no to, "Are you out of your mind?" Nobody believed in Ozires' plan. Nobody believed Brazil could be a major aircraft manufacturer. Then, at his lowest point, a miracle happened. It was like the heavens heard his plight. The skies themselves gave Ozires the perfect opportunity he needed. One day, the Brazilian president Ozires Silva was on board a plane en route to a town near São José de Campos. A thick fog descended, however, and the plane was forced to land. The nearest runway, as fate would have it, was the one Ozires was working at. When Ozires received word that the president himself was about to make an appearance, he knew that this was his time to shine. He was the only authority in the CTA available to greet him, so was in his ear the entire time. Ozires welcomed President Ozires Silva to the center and led him to the hangar containing the Bandeirante. As he'd done so with many potential investors before, he rattled on and on about how the plane could revolutionize the industry and catapult Brazil to global relevance. Only this time, the other person was listening. The president loved the sound of this new project, and unlike all the doubters, believed in Ozires to deliver. He simply asked, "What will your new company be called?" Ozires answered, "Empresa Brasileira de Aeronáutica," but shortened it to Embraer. 1970, at the age of 39, Ozires fulfilled his promise to his late friend Zico. Embraer was Brazil's first official aircraft manufacturer and pushed the country to new heights of industrialization. Today, Embraer is the third largest manufacturer of aircrafts in the world. The company employed over 15,000 workers in 2021, has a market cap worth over $3 billion and produces some of the most coveted private jets in the world. The Phenom300 for example, is a favourite among American billionaires for its sleek design, luxurious facilities, and impressive speeds. The company has earned such high status that the Phenom300 even played a vital role in creating the latest blockbuster hit Top Gun Maverick. The producers needed a fuel-efficient plane able to hit top speeds to film some of the film's most daring action sequences. They turned to Embraer, who provided their best model. On top of all this, Embraer is pushing the envelope in the world of aviation in more ways than one. The company is one of the most responsible aircraft manufacturers on the market. Their planes not only meet the noise and emission standards set by the Civil Aviation Organization, they exceed them. Even the Lineage 1000, an ultra-large private jet so big it was originally designed to be a commercial plane, fits well within the environmental boundaries. Diving deeper into Embraer's impressive portfolio, we encounter the ERJ family of jets, a testament to the company's commitment to efficiency and reliability in commercial aviation. The ERJ series includes several models, such as the ERJ 140 and ERJ 145. These aircraft are designed primarily for short to medium haul flights and are widely used by regional airlines around the world. The ERJ family is known for its efficiency and suitability for smaller markets, helping to popularize regional air travel and fill the gap between smaller propeller aircraft to larger jetliners. But Embraer's expertise doesn't stop there. Their skill in the aerospace industry also shines through in their advanced military aircraft. These planes are not only technologically sophisticated, but are also designed to meet the rigorous demands of military use. Check out the Embraer R99. And if you thought that looked crazy, have a look at this beast, the Embraer C390 Millennium. This is the story of Embraer's founder, Ozires Silva, whose impact is far more reaching than one single company. From being a wistful kid in the suburbs of Sao Paulo to one of the most influential Brazilian figures of all time, it's safe to say his is a story of determination and success. During his life, Ozires went on to accomplish many other great things. He served as president of Varig, the first Brazilian airline company, from 2000 to 2002, and even held the position of Minister for Infrastructure in the Brazilian government from 1990 to 1991. In February 2021, just after his 90th birthday, Ozires was granted the Daniel Guggenheim Medal, a unique, prestigious award for individuals who have made significant contributions to the world of aeronautics. He was the first Brazilian ever to receive the honour. Ozires is still alive to this day, at the age of 92. His story serves as an example for not only flying fanatics across the world, but for any young child who dreams of changing the world and proving the doubters wrong. All it took was one close friend's belief to silence the entire world. So the question is, which country will we see take to the skies next? Where will the next Ozires Silva be born? And how will they spark their own revolution? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, subscribe to Rise for more content like this in the future. Until next time.